Hello to everyone. Nice to see you in the next speaking practice video. And today, as usual, I'm going to answer the questions that ChatGPT prepared for me. And I want to say that I'm recording this speaking practice video, as I promised, on the next day. Yes, on the Tuesday. Because in the previous speaking practice video, if you remember, I said that I'm going to record the next one and the next one in Tuesday and on Friday. And I'm doing it. So probably without further ado and without a lot of foretalk, uh, I will come to answering the questions from ChatGPT. And probably after I finish answering the questions, I will talk about something else, something about I don't know that about something that will came up to my mind at the moment, but I will do it after answering the questions. So let's start answering the questions. Question number one: do you enjoy spending time alone, or do you prefer being with other people? Hmm. I think I've answered on this question already, and I did it many times. And my answer didn't change at all. I prefer spending time alone, of course, because I'm an introverted person. But I also understand my social needs as an an absolutely normal human being. I understand that even if I'm introverted, I'm still a human. I am still want to be social. I still want to interact with other people, probably in a lesser quantities than the extrovert would want to. And I think this is all what I can say about this. I can repeat what I said. Yes, in order to do more practice. I enjoy spending time alone, of course, but I also understand the need to spend time with other people sometimes because we all humans, we all need social interactions and not just any social interactions. Social interactions, in my approach, need a social interaction in my approach need needs to be profound, deep, or at least friendly. Yes, I don't like toxic, unnecessary social interactions that brings nothing except from worriness, stress, and disturbance. If already, if already to connect with people, if already to interact with people, I prefer these interactions be in a positive way. Yes, that is my approach. Next question. What kind of activities help you forget about stress? Um, English learning, Polish learning, and 3D animation learning. Sometimes video games, but usually I started that when I'm playing video game for too long, I start feeling emptiness inside myself. If try to describe this feeling physically, it would like I don't know um, some hollow object will put it in my chest and it sucked everything in itself around. This type of pulling feeling. Yes, not very pleasant feeling, so I prefer not to spend so much time on routines like video games. If it's not only a weekend or I am really tired at that moment, or at least I can get something profitable and positive for myself from the game. For example, I recently played Witcher the One. Not because I really wanted to play the game, but I was really exhausted. But I still needed to invest some time in Polish studying. So I find a way how to make it easy for me to invest time when I'm already exhausted. And also, yes, I just find a way how to make it easy for myself to reconnect with Polish language in a most pleasurable and relaxful way for me at that moment. And it was a video game. Yes, I simply changed the language on Polish. As you know, Witcher is a Polish game, and it contains Polish dub. It contains Polish subtitles and Polish voice. So I simply played the game, talked with other characters, had a pleasure, but also connect myself to the Polish language. That's how I get a profit from the game. Yes, and that's my answer. Question number 3. If you could spend 1 month anywhere in the world, where would you go and why? Just 1 month? Just 1 month, it is not much. But in this case, if we're talking about imaginary months in any country, I would love to choose Japan because I really keen on their culture. I'm really interested in this country, and it would be a pleasurable experience for myself. I mean, even if I would be alone there, and I would be, and I would be, and I would knew, and I would, and I would knew language not very well, but still, as a whole month in another country, especially in Japan, absolutely very interesting country for the tourists. I think I will. I think I would found. I think I would find what to do for the whole month. Probably it even might be the Japanese courses, some short-term course for 1 month, just in order to learn alphabet. Yes, and it already would have been very interesting for me. So yes, my answer is Japan. Part 2, Q card, B2 C1 level. Describe something you've done recently that made you feel proud. You should say what you did, what it happened, when it happened, and when you decide to do it. And explain why it made you feel proud. Not exactly proudness, but the feeling of that I've done the right things. Surely, surely. Because, if we moving astray a little from this topic, I could say that I can't say that I'm fully proud of myself now, or at least I feel proudness at least one of the days, because I'm still in a timeline, I'm still in a place, let's say this in that way. Yeah, I'm still in a place where I need to put a lot of efforts and time in studying in order to be one day to be able proud of myself, or at least just achieve the life that I want to achieve the professions that I want to achieve. So now I very rarely feel proudness, but I feel confidence and fulfillment, especially when I finish the task that was planned, planned, plan. I plan, you planned, that was planned to me to finish, that was planned by me to finish. So, yes, and Let's now answer on the question from a cue card. What did I recently that make me feel not proud exactly, but confident and fulfilled? I think I'm gonna share with you a very recent action, just if be precise, the actions that I've finished right before I start, right before I started recording this speaking practice video. And this action is writing practice. I've I've been planning for the beginning of the week. I've been planning since the beginning of the week that I will invest at least 1 hour in writing practice on this week. And today was the time. I simply sat down and invested not only 1 but 2.5 hours in writing. I've been writing an essay about one of my favorite games, and I wrote a whole A4 page in a Word. So I feel quite fulfilled of how I executed this writing practice. So that is my answer. Why you decided to do it? Because writing practice have the same importance. The writing practice has the same importance as speaking practice and as listening practice, because it's one of the pillars of English proficiency, or in my case, not even proficiency, but ability to use and execute language in different ways. For example, now I'm training speaking. I'm because I want to be able to speak. I want to be able to execute, not execute, but I want to be able to express and explain my thoughts to other people. I want to be able to talk to other people and communicate. So I'm training speaking skill. When I'm writing, I'm training writing skill. If I will need to write the letter to someone, for example, or if I would need to mess to write to someone through Messenger, yes, write the message to someone, or even write an essay in the future. So it's a skill that I need to be familiar with, and even better, being able to execute it with a little amount of mistakes as possible. So that's why I'm training writing skill, and exactly why I decided to do it, because it's important for English learning. Also, there is listening. I usually listen YouTube, but recently I started to concentrate my attention mostly on audiobooks mm, or TV show Friends, just in order to train in the ability to understand English by listening without reading it, without reading the subtitles. It's also a very important skill, because when you've been talking to someone, yes, very logical conclusion, you wouldn't see the subtitles, yes, under the person's face. You would need to understand what the other person what the other person is saying to you, just by pure listening skill, and that's why I'm training it. Also, now I started adding reading in English, because it's also very important when you will read messages from other people, when you will read text, when you will read tasks, when you no, but yes, when you will read. Sorry, I lost my concentration a little. This happens sometimes, but um, you need reading skill, because there is a lot of things that wrote in a language. So you need to be able to read it, just in order to live and interact with the environment. So that's why it's also very important skill. And that's why I decided to do it all because I want improvement, I want enhancing, and I want to be able not to be perfect at English at least, but to be able to simply use this language as my own, even with accent or mistakes, but to be able to use it, to be able to be fluent in using. Yes, that's my goal. Not pure professional academic language, at least for this point of time, but fluent using, yes, I want to be a fluent user of language. Okay, let's move to the next question. Why do you think people often doubt their own achievements? Difficult question for me because I'm one of them. I'm the person who have a toxic habit to doubt my own achievements. I think it comes from the childhood and it comes of how you've been treated, how you've been mistreated mostly, how other people treat you, and what your mind will and how your mind, how your psyche was trained to react and was trained to see the world around you. I mean, for example, if let's take for instance, if other people from your childhood usually neglect your own achievement, it might give you a false notion, a false reaction that your achievements doesn't matter much and you don't need to talk about it to other people and you don't have a point, don't have a right to be proud of it. So it's just a habit for you, the habit that were forced by other people on you, the toxic habit, the unhealthy habit. So just by instinct, just by this um, forged path in your head, you continue to doubt or even neglect your own achievements. Yes, this is some kind of insecurity that was placed in your head by someone else. And if I elaborate this answer, you need to you need to find the way how to get rid of it from your head, how to rewrite this psychological path, this psychological script that was forced into you because it wasn't your decision. This is one. This is first. The second is this is absolutely unhealthy. And the third, it is not, it isn't helping at all for you as a human being to coexist in this society and to be happy most of all. So this is unhealthy pattern that you should find out, understand, accept, and rewrite on a healthy pattern. Like if I achieve something, I will accept it, I will declare it for myself, and mm, I will forget this word. I will not celebrate by. I will. One minute. I need to Google. Sorry. You will reward. Yes, you will reward itself. You will reward yourself for your own achievements, for your own achievement, for your own success and win. This is very important because, as I said, you have a toxic trait. You have a toxic habit you will that you was neglected. That your achievements was neglected. So no one awarded you. Uh, no one awarded you. No one rewarded you, even when your achievements was fairly deserving a reward. So if no one did it for you, you should learn how to do it for yourself, because this is very important. It helps you to be positive, helps you to be healthy, psychologically as well, and it simply brings pleasure and happiness into your life. Because if you fairly deserve something, you should you should have it. Yes, this is my answer. Question number 5. If school focused more on personal development instead of exams, what might change? If schools focused more on personal development instead of exams, what might change? Um, I don't know. I think schools already focused more than enough on personal development. I think personal development is a responsibility of the parents mostly, and it actually needs to be chosen by a child. You can't, as a school, as a social institute, you can't be adaptable. You can't be um, you can't be bendable for and suitable for every unique person. You need to create a system that would work well for most of the people, for most of the students, for most of the pupils. And the school usually provides this environment, provides this system that are quite suitable for all, but not very specific for any and not very specific in unique cases, unique personalities. I mean, the school gives you the knowledge about, yeah, the knowledge in general about all subjects, and then you just simply choose the interesting subject in the future when you finish your school, and then continue studying it and then continue studying it professionally and precisely in university. I think this is absolutely adequate approach, and there is no need to be, and then there is no need to change it. There is nothing to change in it. The thing that I think might have been changed is uh, pedagogical approach to studying. I think a lot of restrictions, toxic environment, and toxic dynamics between teacher and students might cause much more severe difficulties and problems for the pupil to for the pupil in personal development than 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 range of subjects, or the range of, yes, the range of subjects, or the range of information. I think the things that affects, as I said, sorry for repeating myself, as I said, the things that needs to be changed and the things that affects the personal development the most is how teacher approaches to the studying his subject, how the teacher approaches to the studying his subject to pupils, and what the environment he creates in the classroom. Yes, that's very important. Not the subject itself, but the approach to it. This is my opinion. Question number 6. How can challenges or failures help people grow? I don't know about challenges because I don't like the concept of challenges itself, because usually it's only laden you with even more pressure and increases your level of stress that is usually leading to failing, or at least increases chances of failing. That's why I don't like challenges. But failures, on the other hand, is absolutely normal and very useful thing in a personal or in a grow in every subject, every field that the person chooses. What I mean? I mean that when you fail, you learn. When you fail, you learn. You see, when you fail, it's like you tried something, you fail, and now you need to analyze why are you, oh, that you need to analyze why did you fail? Understand the mistakes, understand what you did incorrectly, what you might do better in the future. And exactly this process of analyzing the subject, analyzing yourself and your approach, helps you to notice the mistakes and fix them. And by that, you actually is growing in your proficiency. So that is my answer. Very simple. You learn on your mistakes, and your failures motivates you to learn even more. This is my approach, especially helpful in English learning, because if you keep attention to my channel, to what I'm doing, you see that my progress is quite slow, but thanks to the consistency and thanks to the fact that I am actually tending to accept failures and learn from it, my English level is increasing. So I'm the example, I'm the instance of this approach of why failures help people grow. Okay, that was my answer. Let's move to the next. Do you think people compare themselves too much to others? Why or why not? I think yes. I think unfortunately in our society, especially when we have social medias, when we have internet and we see the life of our people too much, we instinctively uh, are starting to compare. We instinctively um, we instinctively are starting to compare ourselves with other people. It happens, as I said, instinctively. Yes, just like you see the other people, you see the other person's life, and you compare it. Yes, for example, the other person have car, you don't have a car. The other person has um, a lot of money, a lot of good clothes, probably even a better wife or a better woman, and you compare it to your life, and you start feeling yourself un, and you start feeling yourself unfulfilled, a little empty, not a little splitted, not in a whole. Yes, you start feeling yourself miserable because someone has something and you hasn't. But it's actually very tricky thought, and it's not the best approach for living, because now I'm gonna say some very obvious things, but there is a reason in it. We all have different circumstances, we all have different lives, we all have different abilities and different interests and approaches to the life. All humans are the same and at the same time are different. So, for example, if you see the person with car, with a lot of women, let's put it in this way, very successful person, and you are not, you can't compare yourself with this person because you both have different circumstances to brought up. You all have different circumstances in your life. You started in different families with different set of skills. You know, your parents treat you also differently. You everything was different in this case, yes. And probably this person have more talent in something, in something very valuable. Probably the parents helped this person a lot. Probably something else. Probably he even stole this money and he's not a very good person. You don't know it. So you can't compare yourself to him because, as I said, you are two different subjects in a two different circumstances. You can't be equal. Yes. So if you can't be equal, I mean, in starting points, you can't compare fairly your achievements and your resources. Probably you haven't. You hadn't have the parents who will pay for good education in your life, who will pay for good teachers, good who will pay for good teachers, who will pay your tuition, who will give you the cost for living, yes, while you are studying. Probably you just simply hadn't it, and you was forced to do it on your own. You were forced to get a mediocre education. You were forced to, work during your studying process in order to get at least some money for living because when you're a student, you want to interact socially, you want to buy yourself the things. Yeah, I don't even talking about food. Yes, so you need money, and if your parents can't provide you money, you need to get it somewhere else, and you probably and in this case, you probably start splitting your studying between work. And in this case, you probably started splitting your studying on work hours and on studying hours. And of course, this wasn't a very good job at the beginning, and you didn't get a lot of money from it. And also, on the other hand, you worsen your study process because it's very hard to combine these two things. Sometimes it's even impossible to combine it. So you start neglect your study in order to get money, but the money is not very much. So it's not, but you need it, and it's difficult. It's just difficult, and as I said, everyone has different circumstances, and everyone lives in these circumstances as good as they can. So you can't compare yourself. Much more healthier approach and the way of consider these things, it's compare yourself to yourself, your past self to your present self. I mean, like, what did you have in the past and what you have now? What did you know, what you didn't know, and what you learned? How you improved yourself, how you improved as a human, how you improved as a professional. And usually, when you will see only your own path, when you will consider it and look at it, you will understand that you are not failure. You are not staying in one place. You are moving forward, but in your own tempo. Yes, you getting the result. You improving your skills, but probably you don't get the desirable result yet. But you still moving. You're still in progress, and if you moving, you eventually will have a chance to seize what you want. You eventually will achieve something. Yes, this is a fact. This is yeah, this is just a fact. You can't deny it. That if you're moving somewhere, you eventually uh, get to this point. So as I said, the best approach is just to compare yourself to yourself and manage your own business. It saves your mentality, it serves your mental powers, it keeps your outlook and self feeling healthy and healthy. Yes. What else do you need? Just to be happy and healthy. And you provide it to yourself, but stop in looking to the lives of our people. Next question. If social media stopped showing likes and comments, how would it affect people's self-esteem? There is actually already is a function that can hide likes and dislikes, but I think likes and dislikes it's not something that has to affect your self-esteem. It's more about the feedback to your product. I mean, if you are a video creator, if you are a blogger, you create the content for the audience, and by likes and dislikes, you can see mm, how audience perceive your content. I mean, if it like it or not like it, probably it can guide you to what to change, probably what make better, or even change the whole topic of your channel if your goal is to create a big um, audience in your channel. So that's actually likes and dislikes. It's a good thing, and in my approach, it needs to be seen as a simple feedback to your product, to your content. It's not about how you as a person, I suppose. It's more about what product you create, how good this and how interesting this product is. Yes, this is my approach to it. And the next question: how important is to celebrate small success in life? Um, I can answer on this question by quoting the J.J.R. Tolkien. It is not a bad thing to celebrate a simple life. I will repeat it again. The quote from Lord of the Rings sounds as most of all, it is not a bad thing to celebrate a simple life. So, this is my answer. Should you celebrate small success? Yes. Should you be happy about your small success? Of course, yes, because it is not a bad thing, and it's still a success. It's still an achievement. Even if no one upload for you, even if no one um how to say it noticed this success. So what's the matter? Yes, what's from that? You should be the one, as I explained it in a previous, yeah, as I explained it previously. You should be your own. You should be the person who see your own successes and failures. You should be the person um who reprimand yourself and the person who reward yourself for achievements. And if you get success, even if it's small success, it's your achievement. It should be noticed and should be rewarded, or at least stated in your own mind, in your own life, that you did the work and you get to the result. This is already self-fulfilling by itself. You get to the result. You didn't waste your time. You should be happy and you should celebrate, at least in your mind. Yes, there is no need for a big, party or something like that. Just keep it to yourself. For example, for instance, me, if I manage to do some speaking practice video or writing practice video, or at least I feel that my English skills, English skills became a little more better. I feel success. I feel that all my efforts is actually have a sense. All my efforts pays off, and I feel good. I feel good. I feel the progress, and the feeling of the progress, feeling of moving, keep my mind productive and motivated. So that's simply how it works. So I think this is very important to celebrate small successes because it helps you to continue move on, especially when you have a very very long time goals like for me. Uh, become fluent in English. It's not a question of 1 or 2 months, it's a question of years. So I understand this is a small road, and when I get the small success on this road, I usually celebrate it for myself because it helps me to continue moving. Or other task like um, become a middle 3D animator, also a very huge field, or also a very huge subject to learn. And when I managed to do some more difficult, more sophisticated and complicated animations, managed to do it. And before I uh, wasn't being able to, I also celebrated because it's still an achievement. It still shows me my own personal, it still shows me my professional growth in the subject. And because of I'm paying, as I said, a lot of efforts into it, it makes me happy that I'm getting the results. Simple as that. And the last question in this speaking practice video, even my even my voice became a bit thirsty because a lot of talking without rest. But okay, let's answer on this last question. What do you think motivates people to keep improving themselves even after success? Hmm. Surely, surely difficult question for me because I'm not get my desirable success yet. I'm still in a process of moving, so I don't know how I will feel myself after I finish this road of studying. But I can assume that when you achieve something, when you achieve something that you really wanted, the next step is to find something else or improve it even more. I think in a very deep subjects there is no ceiling of knowledge. I mean, you could study one subject all your life, and all your life you can improve and improve and improve. So in my perspective, there is some tasks that don't have a finish point. You will you will climb up, you will learn and studying until the end of your life, until the end of your time. So probably this is motivates people to continue move on. They just simply feel genuine interest and understanding that there is a lot of things to do yet, a lot of things to do. And that motivates me too. When I'm studying something, I understand that there is no ceiling and there is still a lot of things to do, and that motivates me to move on. Even when I get job in 3D animation, for example, succeed in my goal, in my recent goal, it wouldn't be the end, of course. I will start in my work career. I will start in improving myself. I will start in practicing and, just becoming better and better professional in this field. Probably I will choose something else lately, like something that will improve my skills. Like for example, I really thinking about when I already will be a very solid 3D animator, add some drawing skills to my skill set, or add other 3D animation skills, or learn some different field like 3D animation, not only for video games but for production or for cartoons or 2D animation. Yes, there's a lot of things to learn. There's a lot of things to do in this world, and I could even say that the length of human life even closely not enough to learn all these interesting things that exist in this world. It's not enough. It's very small measurement for a human. So this is my approach. This is what I think that this is what I think when person very interested in something. Very there is no ceiling. Yes, sorry. I don't want to repeat myself again. Um, just gonna say that there is no ceiling and there is no stop point. After one success, there is going to be another success. After one task, there is going to be another task. Just genuine interest in things required. And this was my answer, at least my assumption. Probably after some point in life, uh, person is person is cease moving to something else. But I think not in my case. In my case, I think I will be able always. I think I'm always will be interesting. No, I think I always will be interesting in something. I always will keep this inner drive and interest to the subject until the end of my time. And it is how it is. That's how my mind is wired. That's who I am. So, thanks for watching this speaking practice video, and see you in the next one. See you on Friday. Yes, see you tomorrow, and see you in the next speaking practice video. Have a good day, and goodbye for today.